Welcome back. This is episode 7 of the C.A.R.E.Vlog. C.A.R.E. stands for Career Advancement, Readiness and Enhancement vlog or the video blog. We are your hosts. My name is Nisar Ahmed and Eric B. Hahn. Just a quick introduction. If you haven't watched our episodes until now, this is a quick introduction about ourselves, and then we'll quickly get into today's topic, which is how to stay motivated during your job search. About myself, my name is Nisar Ahmed. I am the managing editor of the publishing platform focused on career advice for job seekers and freelancers. And I'm also the host of the Career.Advancement.Readiness podcast. Eric, if you can quickly share your introduction, who you are, so the audience can know, then we'll get into today's topic.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us again. My name is Eric B. Horn. I'm the founder of Eric B. Horn Incorporated, which is a career management and professional development firm for college graduates to mid-level professionals. And today's topic is something that's near and dear to me, and hopefully it's near and dear to you. That's why you joined in, is how to stay motivated through a job search. Now, when it comes to searching for a new career, there's no estimated timeline on how long it'll take for you personally. Now, people have given estimates to say, okay, it'll take you 3 to 6 months or 3 to 9 months. It's hard to stay motivated for a couple of hours as opposed to staying motivated 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, or maybe even a year. Let's not make any mistake behind that. And based off of the last episode, talking about being courageous, you have to be courageous enough to know that when you're looking for a new job, you're going to be in it for the long haul. So one of the things that I would suggest people to do is, if you're looking for a job or a new job, one of the main ways to stay motivated would be look for a new job while you already have a job. Because when someone is trying to look for a new job, when they don't have a new job, they usually aren't strategic. And what I mean by that is they pick the first thing that comes their way, and they don't give it a lot of thought, or they're so tired for looking for a job for so long and so demotivated by looking for a job because they're not getting any traction, or they're getting constant rejection after rejection after rejection after rejection. Staying motivated and also having a positive attitude is they go hand in hand. Now, I know we'll go back and forth and give you some prime examples of what you can do to stay motivated, but just from an initial standpoint, when you are looking for a job, tweak your mindset to say, okay, I want to get a job as quickly as possible, but I'm fully prepared for the long haul. And sometimes that's just a mind shift. It's a marathon, not just a sprint, because, marathons are 26 miles, a sprint is a couple of 100 meters. Basically, you're still getting to a destination, but the distances are shorter. But when it comes to looking for a job, especially and I'll talk about this in the latter part of the episode, especially if you don't have the right connections, and if you're just starting from scratch, it can, wear you out. I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but I want to give you guys a true understanding that, the only thing that happens overnight is another day. So when it comes to your job search, put yourself in the mindset that you're going to be in it for the long haul. So tweak your mindset. That would be one of the first things to get you prepared to stay motivated. Nasar, did you have any other ideas on how you can stay motivated with your job search?
Definitely, Eric. I do have I have a few ideas I want to share about, and I want to spend some time on the mindset piece that you just mentioned. But let's talk about something, and let's talk about something which a lot of people want to talk about. And I want to say that jobs, I understand, everybody understands, and I will not lie to you No matter who you are, job search is hard. Um, whether you were in your late 50s, got laid off after working for 20 years, whether you just found out your company got acquired and they're shutting down your entire branch, you're a new graduate who just finished school and trying to make it in the world of business, it is hard. And I've been there not once, couple of times, few times. It is hard. It's emotionally draining. You doubt yourself. Any belief you had in yourself, it goes out the window. So job search is really, really hard. And that's something um, I wanted to acknowledge, and I wanted to be upfront with you. And the reason I'm acknowledging that is because it is hard. It is very important for you to stay motivated, because we all know when you are emotionally not in the right place, you may not be inspired to take action. That's why you need to do motivated. You need to stay motivated. So Eric, you spoke about mindset, and one of the mindsets I always have when I'm looking for a job is, yes, I want a job, but it is not about me. Yes, if I get a job, it helps my career, it helps my family, it helps me make a living, but it's always about the company that is going to hire me. I flip the switch. Um, it's about how I can add value to the marketplace. The company that is hiring me, they're not hiring me because of who I am. They are hiring me about a problem they have, and they want it fixed. That's the reason they want to hire someone. So change your mindset. And I'm telling you, as soon as you change your mindset from why is this not happening to me, to someone else or some other entity like a company, how can I be part of this uh, movement, or how can I be part of this company? How can I solve the problem? How can I help them reach more customers? I'm telling you, you will feel a shift in your body language. You'll feel a shift in your mind. That's one thing I would say in terms of mindset. Um, in terms of specific actions, as being motivated is also, you also have to be in a good mind frame all the time during your process. And what I would recommend is, the reason you need to be in that good mind frame is because you might never know when you will get a call. You're sitting, it's in an afternoon, you're sitting wallowing in self-pity. All of a sudden you get a call back from a recruiter, and you have that one shot to make an impression. So you better be prepared, right?
Right.
You never know. And if they catch you at a bad time and you're going through the self-pity, you lost that one chance. So always um, be uh, be motivated. And one of the things that I've learned, and I learned this from a gentleman I interviewed a year ago. His company is called Job Mob, and he said, have something called a brag file, like create a file or write it on a piece of paper about all the things that are your strengths, things that you have accomplished in previous job. If you're a student, what are the things that you accomplished in school? Um, Write that down. And when you write that down, you will see a shift in your energy. You will become more positive. It'll actually make you inspired to talk to people about you. So have a brag file ready, and have it ready in a place where if someone is calling you for an interview, you can just pick that up, and they ask you a question, you can answer. So these are some of the things I would recommend, Eric. And I think the brag file goes huge way, because it changes your it inspires you to get excited about yourself. And isn't that important?
Yeah, I love I wrote that down, the brag file. That's huge. And when you talked about before we start to record, Evernote, put it in Evernote so everyone has some sort of mobile device, tablet or whatever. You can carry it all the time with you, so you can just use that as a point of reference. That's great. And to piggyback off of that, one of the biggest mistakes that I've made when I was downsized from my first job was I took on the process of searching for a new job by myself. And that was one of the biggest mistakes, because we all know that there's strength in numbers. And to your point, you're going to come across that doubt. You're going to come across that frustration. So you need to surround yourself around other individuals. They can be employed or unemployed, but you can surround yourself around other individuals that understand what you're going through and willing to help you. And one of the things that I started last year, because I knew how painful it was to go through a job search process by yourself, I started it was a private job group where we would come in every week. Sometimes it's sometimes it's via, sometimes it's in person, sometimes it's virtual, but we will all get together and we will, talk about how we're feeling at that given moment when it comes to the job, or if there was a position that was open and one of the other group members filled, we let them know about it. It was kind of the same aspect of a mastermind group, but it was more action based because we concentrated on looking for jobs. But the funny thing about it, it was more talks based. It was more talks on how people felt emotionally than the actual jobs that are out there. Because the job conversations, I can easily say, hey, Nassar, hey, I saw this job, I'm gonna send it to you. That can be a 30-second conversation. But the overall how you're feeling, because we've come across people where, a gentleman, he felt bad because he felt like he was a failure because he couldn't provide for his family, and these are the invisible scars that people do not see when it comes to looking for a job, right? Because when you interview, you want to show you the best version of yourself, but nobody really talks about the struggle that they go through and the disheartening feelings that they have when it comes to the search process. But I say all that to say that unfortunately, the truth is there are a lot of unemployed individuals that are looking for employment. So instead of doing it alone, meet up with people. It can be at your Panera Bread. It can be at your local library. It can be in front of someone's house. I don't care. But get together and really talk about what you're going through while you're going through the process of finding a job. Doing that, people feed off of other people's energy. So, if someone is feeling down and someone had a positive week or a productive week when it came to searching for jobs, it can be just a conversation to say, hey, I've been where you are at. Continue to stay motivated, because just encouraging words also can motivate someone, and not just off the fluffy, oh, it'll be okay. No, sometimes it can say, hey, I know you're down, but I still need you to get up. I still need you to keep moving in the right direction. And you'll be surprised just how an encouraging word can help someone get over that funk that they're having. And like I said, the best experience that I've had was being a part of and hosting job groups. Because once again, the emotion behind it and the motivation behind it and just the feelings behind the job search, these are the things that people usually do not see. And a lot of times people, unfortunately, they may see someone that was out of work for a year. Sometimes the perception is you're not trying hard enough or you're not doing enough, even though they may not know that person's situation. But even more importantly, that person who's very frustrated, who needs a sense of motivation, doesn't have an outlet to talk about it, right? Because sometimes the way you would want to stay motivated is to actually talk about your experiences, talk about your frustrations when it comes to looking for a job. Because once you get it out, and put that out to the universe, it's out there, so it doesn't necessarily have to quote unquote come back. I mean, I've seen so many people do a complete 180 because they didn't hold it inside. I mean, holding stress and holding frustration inside, even from a health perspective, that can be bad. You have a lot of people that have heart attacks because they're stressed out. The reason why they're stressed out because they don't have an outlet. And the outlet can be as simple as, okay, how have you been doing based off of your job search? But then once that person asks that question, the frustrated job seeker, they need to be transparent enough to say, I'm very, very frustrated. To be honest with you, I feel like a failure because nothing is going on. Because even before you get to the point on letting them know the opportunities that are out there, they got to get over the fact that they feel, well, they would need help getting over the fact, I need to say it the right way, they would need help getting over the fact that they are not a failure. They're just, a frustrated job seeker. So, I say all that to say, job groups, don't make the mistake that I made by going through a job search by yourself. There are other people in the same situation. Get with those individuals so, they can be a blessing to you and you can be a blessing to them, and you guys can rise together. Because, I personally know people that, it's been out of work 2.5 years, and they refuse to ask for help, because that's one of the topics that we talked about in our previous episode. You definitely need to ask for help, but their pride is to the point where, they don't want to ask for help. They want to do it on their own, and they are so demotivated based off of the fact, because it feels like they're hitting their head against the wall, and they put themselves in a position where they don't have an outlet, So the point that I'm trying to make is, do not go through your job search process alone, whether it's just networking with other people. Well, this is a little bit deeper than networking. Let me be very, very clear and transparent, because networking, that can be a technique to help you get a job. But most people, a lot more people need to put out there how they're feeling when it comes to the frustration that comes with finding a job, because it's there. I'm telling you, they are the invisible scars that people really don't see. And, as a society, when we look at someone's resume and we see that there's been a gap, we instantly say, okay, so you telling me you couldn't find anything in a year? You never know what that person has been through, right? And you never will know if that person doesn't, say or express how they feel when it comes to it. So, yeah, sorry being long-winded, but that was near and dear to me, because, like I said, guys, if we did an episode about needing to ask for help and things of that nature, definitely go back, take a look at it, because there are people out there that will help you. You just need to ask. But if you don't ask, closed mouths don't get fed, and people won't be able to help you if you don't let them know that you do need the help. So,
Eric, I do love the details you went into there, because you just gave people, I wish more people did this, the whole concept of private job group. And I'm very familiar with the whole mastermind concept. It is coined by Napoleon Hill in the book Think and Grow Rich. Everywhere you can hear about mastermind. I've heard of mastermind for a lot of things. Runners have masterminds. They run in groups. Athletes, freelance, business people, entrepreneurs, speakers have mastermind groups. For job seekers, that's brilliant. And just think about this. If the people listening, if you're a student, or I'm sure you have graduated with your classmates, a group of students from the same college or university, you know, just create a private job group among this network. I know you are all looking to get a job, and have weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings and talk about your progress. If someone in your group gets a job, congratulate them, learn from them. That's a great place to start, right? If you as a company of five, like if your entire department is laid off, you are a mid-level professional, you can start your own private job group. And it's amazing. You've given something, and I think if people did not catch the significance of that, that could just change their career and job search process in an instant. So that is really valuable, and I hope that is the biggest takeaway from this. Is if of all the action items we searched, that was extremely, extremely brilliant.
and let me add one more thing pertaining to that, because you touched on something that sparked another idea. With the job groups that I've been a part of, you build a certain level of camaraderie. I look at it how, the camaraderie that you would get from being in the Army or some type of baseball team. This is the same type of camaraderie that needs to come about a, job search group, because if it's 8 or 9 of us, it is important for me to find a job. However, it is just as important for me to make sure that the other individuals in the group find a job, because we're all in it together. And if we're, transparent enough to say, this is how I'm feeling, eventually you want to go to bat for people. You want to go to bat for people and just make sure that everyone in the group is well off. And that was one of the things that I love about it. And that's one of the things that, well, some recruiters, or that they don't do, because a recruiter, it's their job to place as many people as possible, which makes sense. But then once they place that person, they're done, because they have to move on to the next one because they have so many jobs to fill, which I get, right? But with a job group, like I said, the camaraderie that you'll build, because you'll get to know people, because that was one of the things that I wanted to do. I really just don't want to know the type of who you are and the type of position that you're looking for. I want to know who's a part of your family. Who are you doing this for? Because then that will shape and help me gain a better understanding, kind of to the point that we were talking about in the last episode, when it comes to courage and taking risk and why you're doing it. Now I have a better understanding that, hey, this is not just Nassar who's looking for a job, because I'm just using this as an example, guys. He has a family to take care of. So once I get in a position where, just because I have a position, my job in this group is not done until I know that everyone in this group has a position. That's the type, and you can't pay to get that type of camaraderie. I mean, it grows, and because at the end of the day, we work and we get jobs. We want jobs so we can either take care of ourselves or take care of our families, which is huge. So when you are in a group, well, specifically when you're in my group, that's the mindset that I want you to have. I want you to look at the other person in the group with as much determination to help them get a job as the determination that you would want to get a job. So, and that's one of my rules. Hey, we're going to continue to meet until everybody in this circle gets a job, and we can still meet just to make sure that because at that point, once everyone in the circle gets a job, we don't want to leave, because at that point we stepped up and made sure that everyone had a job. So at that point, it looks like it's kind of like a family. And with your family, you want to make sure not only do they have the job, but what are they doing to keep the job? How can we hold you accountable? So since now you have this job, that you can get a raise. You could, what are the things that we need to do to make sure that you could, parallel this to what your passion is, even though that'll be one of the next topic we'll talk about. But keep the motivation and keep everything going, because just as fast as someone can get a job, they can lose it. So my main thing is just to keep that momentum. It's like a train. If a train is not going anywhere, I mean, it's really no danger to anyone. But if a train is going 80, 90 miles per hour, and if something is in front of it, whatever that thing that's in front of it is going to be destroyed. That's how, it should be. That's how you can keep the motivation going after you have found a job, because it's all about taking care of, I mean, I've never been in the armed forces, right? But one of my closest buddies that I met at my last job, he's huge on that. It's all about, protecting the person that's in your circle. Because at the end of the day, if you succeed, I succeed. If you fail, I fail. So what do we need to do so everyone is on a level playing field? And that, to me, is the biggest form of one of the biggest forms of motivation, because one, you let the person in, so you're being transparent, so you know what's going on, and then that helping building you back up to the professional, or making you a better professional based off of, the challenges that you are enduring while you're going through your job search process. Finding a job, it's a lot more to it than just a resume and a cover letter and submitting your resume online. I mean, I think we've gotten away from the camaraderie when it comes to, finding a job. I mean, back in the day, it wasn't just one person looking for a job. It was groups of people that are looking for a job. And it was groups for a reason, because they knew times was so hard that one person couldn't do it by themselves. But just because we have social media, just because we have LinkedIn, we have Career Builder, Indeed, Monster, or whatever have you, and it's a lot easier to submit your resume online, doesn't necessarily mean that it's, from an emotional standpoint and from a motivational standpoint, it would help, because actually it does the opposite. Because the worst thing that can happen when you are looking for a job, or you submitted a job, your resume online, is if you don't hear anything at all. When you don't hear anything at all, so many, like the doubt, the feelings like doubt, frustration, I feel like a failure, always comes in. Because if you spent time crafting your resume, first of all, if you spent the time looking for an available position, so you see something that you feel that you are a good fit, you emotionally you start to get a little happy, because you're like, now, okay, I see a position that would be a good fit for me, right? So then you spend maybe, on the average, 90 minutes tweaking your resume and creating a whole new cover letter and posting it up line. 90 minutes is a long time when you're doing something, right? But then when you go through all of that, you're still on some sort of high, because you're excited based off of the fact that, okay, I took the next step and applied for a position. But when you don't hear anything, that tears you down, especially when you don't hear anything and there's no way for you to follow up. Because most of these job sites, it's one way. And what I mean by that is you have so many people applying to one job, but it's no guarantee that the person on the other end has to, they have to respond back to you. Technically speaking, they don't, but that's demoralizing, because you spent a lot of time, effort, knowing that you can be a good fit for this position, but you don't hear anything at all. That can slow down. It may not stop your motivation, but it can slow it down. But then you just take that one particular scenario, right? And you multiply that by 10 or 15 or 20, because you are doing the same thing over and over and over again. When you look for a position, reaching out 20 times and not hearing anything at all can stop you in your tracks. But if you have other individuals that can listen to you, listen to your frustration, maybe help you figure out, well, maybe you can do this next time, giving you feedback and ideas, that can rev up the motivation. But anyone who on here and is looking for a job totally understands the fact that when you go online and you submit your resume and your cover letter and you don't hear anything at all, it is the most frustrating piece, because in your mind you're the best person, but not hearing anything at all, it puts you in a position where you would constantly always have your head down, which isn't a good feeling at all. So sorry for the rant, but I'm like, this is just so near and dear to me that I didn't want to leave any stone unturned for the audience, because this is the job group concept is key. And it doesn't have to be like Nassar and I, we are in the career management space, so this is what we do for a living. But this is be as simple as getting a table and getting 5 people together at a table, or go to the library, go to Starbucks, or whatever you need to do, but get together, build as a team and help everyone out. It can be 2 people, but do not take on the job search process by yourself. You are, shooting yourself in the foot.
Hey, Eric, I don't think I can add anything else to what he just did, because you nailed it. You've just given the listeners, even myself, if I'm ever in a situation like that, something, it's more than an idea. You've given people a framework for that for the next job search process. And you're right, that process will take away all the frustrations of the job search. So as I mentioned, I don't think I can add any more to that particular topic because you've done a great job there. So that, I think that will be a good segue and wrap up to our next topic, because we talked about all the ideas, the things, the mindset, courage, and even motivation during this particular segment, which actually ties into passion, which you dropped a couple of times during the interview, during the segment. Our next topic is going to be finding a career that is parallel to your life's purpose or life's passion. We'll speak more about that in the next segment. We thank everyone for joining us. Hey, I know we shared a few ideas. If you have other ideas that you have used other than what we discussed for you being motivated doing a job search, please let us know. Until next time, this is Nisar Ahmed and Eric from the C.A.R.E.Vlog.
Let me just say this last piece because I love that call to action. In the comments below, anyone that's looking at this video, pick out 5 people that you would include in your job search group. Just 5. I mean, like I said, comment below, because if and the individuals that you choose, you know, they don't necessarily have to be out of work right now, because one of the things that the reason why I'm asking you guys to choose 5 people is to, you know, start the discussions now, start the meetings now, because you want to be in a proactive state. If the 5 individuals that you choose already have jobs, okay, good. Meet on a regular basis. It doesn't necessarily have to be every week, but maybe at least once a month. You guys come together and figure out how to you know, mastermind your way to your next job or your next promotion or whatever it is. Because based off of this episode, we are hoping that you take this idea and move forward in a proactive manner to, you know, whether it's to search for your next job or whatever the case may be. Start to meet in groups, because one mind is okay, but when you have a group of individuals collaborating on one particular goal, and this goal is being, you know, the overall success of your career, it's no telling where you would go. So once again, one of the things that we're asking for in the comments is to just choose 5 individuals that you would add to your job search group, and then start the process of meeting, once again, at least monthly, and it will do wonders for your career. So on behalf of Nisar and myself, thank you guys for taking the time to, you know, look at this vlog, and we'll see you on the next episode. Have a good one, guys.
Have a good one, guys.